Jesus taught me this trick to win at casino gambling. Short story, true experience. I am not much of a casino gambler. I mean, I take risks in business, I play the stock market, but I only take risk when odds are in my favor. Having said that, the state I live in recently opened up sports gambling. The way I see it is, sports gambling is not really gambling. I mean, it is a game of skill as much as it is a game of chance. It is the only casino game that which the outcome is not fixed, and the house stand to lose as much as the gambler. So earlier last year, I began to seriously explore betting on football. I made some practice runs, and I came out pretty good. After a lot of study and practice, I came across a game where it couldn't possibly lose. It's a low risk, low reward type of bet. The upside is, I will probably win. The downside is, there is not much money to take home. Then a thought hit me. If I am quite sure a game will go a certain way, all I have to do is to bet heavy. Then I'll get a rather good income, in cash, that weekend. And so I went and registered for a sport betting account on my cell phone. They made it look so easy on their website, but somehow, none of my credit cards would work on a gambling site. It said something about fraud prevention. So I thought I would just go back to pretending to bet and enjoy the game. But wait. There is a new casino in my state. Casinos have sportsbook, right? Turns out not all casinos have sportsbooks. One casino have sportsbook, but it's about an hour away, and I don't have a car. So I will have to take this really uncomfortable bus from an exotic part of town. Not that it's a problem, but the website is in an Asian language and the translation on how to get on the bus was rather sketchy. When I finally get to that exotic part of town, and finally figured out how to get on the bus, the scheduled bus had left. The next bus is scheduled to arrive in another hour and a half. So I thought, maybe it's a sign that it wasn't my day. Then I hear a voice, a gentle but firm voice said to me, "This is a test." And so I decided to take the next bus. Now I'm walking around in very sketchy part of town with thousands of dollars in cash. Not very comfortable. Wandering around aimlessly, I stumbled into a Catholic church. It is more like a chapel, built in the colonial times, look out of place around the tall buildings next door. I felt this odd compulsion to walk inside. I should say I was brought up as a Catholic, and studied in missionary schools all my life, so I know my way around in a Catholic church. Keep in mind, at this point, my heart is pounding out of my chest. I am about to throw in a few $1,000s into a bet, money I could ill afford to lose at that point in my life. I wasn't nervous, but the adrenaline was rushing through my vein. And so I sat in the church. I wasn't praying, exactly, more like meditating, feeling the vibe, reconnecting my Catholic past. 10-15 minutes passed. When I stood up to leave, I stared at the Jesus statue on the cross. That's when I felt this compulsion to donate some money, but try as I might, I couldn't find the collection box. It was then I hear that voice again, that gentle but firm voice. He asked me to place a $20 bill inside a Bible. I wasn't sure which one, then as if my body was moving on my own, it was guided to the section at the back of the church. To the section where non-baptized Catholics would sit during Mass. Standing there, I can feel one Bible radiating energy. And so I placed the $20 bill there, on a random page, closed the Bible and left. As soon as I left the church, I felt surprisingly good, all my nerves were calmed, my heartbeat was noticeably relaxed. It was a kind of bliss. I caught the next bus to the casino, laid down the huge bet. I remember asking the attendant who took my bet, this being the first time I bet on sports, I asked, "Is this where I come to collect my money after the game?" The attendant looked at me, with a dead glare on his face. He said, "Yes, only if you win." I just gave him a knowing smile. I said, "Oh, I am going to win." I wasn't being cocky, it was exactly how I felt. The football game didn't go the way I wanted the first half. My team was down by a touchdown and a field goal by halftime, but I wasn't nervous. I just have this feeling I am going to win the game. I knew I should be more concerned, all my available cash is on the line, but I just feel this complete bliss as I kept checking the score. Another hour or so later, I found out I won the game. It was a close call, but I bet straight up, so I walked away with my winning. I went back to the casino several times. I was winning in the first weeks, but I lost a few big games later on in the season. Might as well be a sign to walk away. I did the math after the season. Despite all the late season lost, I was still up a good amount. Now I am not encouraging anyone to gamble. As with any occult working, your mileage may vary. I didn't initially make the connection between donating at the church and the gambling win, until much later when I developed my astro senses. One night, when I was calculating my winning for the season again, I felt a familiar tap on my shoulder. It was Jesus, as if saying, "How you like me now?" I was told that I was led to that church on that day by Jesus. Same goes with that compulsion to stick that $20 bill into that Bible. Jesus said I was part of his bigger plan. He said whenever I came across an unusually placed Bible, I should consider sticking a bill inside it. I will receive a blessing from him. So I guess that's the advice I leave for you. This occult trick Jesus taught me. When you see an out-of-place Bible, or a Bible that made you feel a different vibe, consider sticking a loose bill into it, then make a wish. If the donation was well received, it will bring you a blessing from heaven. I have been doing it ever since I talked to Jesus that night, like when I see a Bible at a hotel room, or when I see a Bible that's located outside of a church. When possible, I will place some loose bills into it. As I do, I found my quality of life generally improved. This is not the first time Jesus manifested himself in my life. That's why I wasn't startled at all when I was in the presence of Jesus. I often meet Jesus in my dreams. He often appears with the Hindu god Ru. They often appears as my roommates or friends. We would sit and drink beer and chat. It always felt natural that I didn't feel I was in the presence of a god. It was just normal friends hanging out. Not until I wake up did I realize I was hanging out with the gods. Just like any other spiritual experience, the actual entity is very different from the entity they describe in the book. I will make another video later on working with Jesus. If I can describe the presence of Jesus as being immensely comforting. There is infinite power, but it was very subtle. Ever since I developed my astro senses, I feel my relationship with Jesus changed somewhat. In the past, we were hangout buddies. Nowadays, Jesus actually asked me to do things for him. The aforementioned experience was one of them. Delivering messages for him is another, but those are stories for another entry. Do you have questions about Jesus in the occult sense? Write them down in the comment section and I will try to channel Jesus for you. No promises though.